Good morning and welcome to Recruit Training Command and today's graduation. We are very excited to have all the family and friends of our sailors, both here and online, because you are about to watch the formal transition from recruits to full-fledged sailors in the world's greatest and most powerful Navy. As we honor the accomplishments of America's best and brightest, we must also honor the family and friends of these new sailors. Without you and your steadfast support and devotion, this day would not be possible. Throughout our nation's history, the secret to our military's success has always been the military families that stand the watch at home and support their sailors. The Department of the Navy has made the determination that the men and women graduating today have what it takes, and that is thanks to you. So on behalf of the United States Navy, thank you for the support and care you provide. This celebration is not just for the graduates, but for you as well. Take special pride in what your sailor has accomplished and the tremendous journey they are about to embark on. They are our future. Thank you again for your support and all you do to keep America safe and strong. Enjoy this ceremony. It gives me distinct pleasure to welcome you to our Navy family.
New Jersey,
Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts,
Maryland,
South Carolina,
New Hampshire,
Virginia, New York,
North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont,
Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana,
Mississippi,
Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri,
Arkansas, Michigan,
Florida, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin,
California, Minnesota,
Oregon, Kansas, West Virginia, Nevada, Nebraska,
Colorado, North Dakota,
South Dakota, Montana, Washington,
Idaho,
Wyoming, Utah,
Oklahoma,
New Mexico, Arizona,
Alaska,
Hawaii, District of Columbia, Puerto Rico,
Guam,
American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, Virgin Islands,
state flags, order, arms. And now we invite you to join the staff of Recruit Training Command in welcoming the graduating divisions with your applause as they enter Midway Ceremonial Hall and are announced in the following order.
Division 049. Division 050. Division 051. Division 052. Division 053.
Today's graduating performing unit is Division 909. Division 909 provides the Arrival Honors Staff, Honor Guard, the Recruit Review Commander, Adjutant, and graduates who provide support assignments for today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Thank you. Divisions. Right. Base. Section leaders. Fall out and collect outer garments. Divisions. Counter. March. Divisions. Hold.
Prepare for review. At an order, dress left, dress. Ready, front, left, face. At close interval, dress right, dress. Ready, front, right, face. Hurry, rest.
May I have your attention, please? For the remainder of the review, no one will be permitted to pass in front of the review stand. And we ask this as a courtesy to our reviewing officer. Photography is certainly encouraged, but we ask that you remain seated and off the drill deck. The photographers you will see on deck throughout the review are the official photographers of Recruit Training Command. Division commanders, left or right, face, parade, rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Lieutenant Rob Griffin Duncan, Recruit Training Command's Drill Division Officer. I would like to welcome you to today's Pass and Review. Today you will see 15 divisions comprised of 1,073 sailors participate in their graduation ceremony and join the most powerful Navy in the world. Please draw your attention to the unit positioned at center deck. There is the Review Commander and staff. The Review Commander is responsible for conducting the graduation ceremony. Today's Review Commander is Fireman Ethan Grimm from Wichita, Kansas. Let's give him a hand, folks. Performing today is the Triple Threat Unit on their 6th week of training, State Flags Unit on their 7th week, and Staff Unit on their 8th and final week of training. These units are comprised entirely of recruits. During their night of arrival, all recruits are placed into divisions of 88 personnel and assigned their division commanders. Recruit division commanders form the backbone of recruit training and are the key individuals in the life of every recruit. Division commanders must serve as counselors, disciplinarians, administrators, and military leaders. Above all, they must show themselves as outstanding examples of military bearing, appearance, attitude, and behavior. Each division also has a recruit chief petty officer. This is the senior recruit who supervises the divisional staff positions and leads the division in the absence of their division commanders. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the graduating divisions, their division commanders, and recruit chief petty officers. As I introduce each division, they will raise the competitive flags they have earned throughout their training. As I introduce each recruit chief petty officer, the flag representing their home state will also be raised. Please hold your applause until all introductions have been completed. I will be starting from their right. Division 043, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Shaniqua Joyner. Petty Officer First Class Thomas Hoffman. Petty Officer Second Class Nathaniel Post. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Alexander Tosti Pearson from Buena Park, California. Division 044, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Brian Tallow. Petty Officer First Class Joshua Ramos. Petty Officer Second Class Janice Collier. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Thomas Baker from Jacksonville, Florida. Division 045, commanded by Petty Officer First Class Aaron Doan. Petty Officer First Class Colby Wooten. Petty Officer Second Class Mervyn Priella. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Zachary Jones from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Division 046, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Oscar Chavarria. Petty Officer First Class Luis Reynoso Gonzalez. Petty Officer First Class Eric Grove. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Jose Banderas Varga from Beaverton, Oregon. Division 047, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Edwin Farmby. Petty Officer First Class Kyle DeBrine. Petty Officer Second Class Lisa McDonald. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Jaden Liebrick from Lakeland, Florida. Division 048, commanded by Chief Petty Officer Joshua George. Petty Officer First Class Samuel Bingham. Petty Officer Second Class Gillian Burke. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Alexander Havertine from Phoenix, Arizona. Division 049. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Courtney Gandy. Petty Officer First Class Keith Stanton. Petty Officer First Class Peter Kengary. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Chad Payman from Marion, Montana. Division 050. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Paul Amagan. Petty Officer First Class Kelly Rushford. Petty Officer Second Class Erica Collins. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Mason Bailey from Grove City, Ohio. Division 051. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Jared Landry. Petty Officer First Class Kevin Johnson. Petty Officer First Class Micah Smith. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Yandel Quiones Diaz from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Division 052. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Brett Holt. Petty Officer First Class Brandon Hendry. Petty Officer First Class Shayna Williams. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Kelsey Stevens from Cleveland, Ohio. Division 053. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Adam Gonzalez. Petty Officer First Class Cody Cassia. Petty Officer First Class Steffi Gutierrez Lara. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Ethan Crawford from San Antonio, Texas. Division 054. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Keith Schneider. Petty Officer First Class Karen Ramirez. Petty Officer Second Class Hampton Austin. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Locke Tucker from Beaufort, South Carolina. Division 055. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer James Gary. Petty Officer First Class Raphael Whitson. Petty Officer First Class Adam Vasquez. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Drake Waugh from Bristol, Tennessee. Division 056. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer Reuben Fletcher. Petty Officer First Class Keith Wright. Petty Officer First Class Sarah Marie Mason. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Seaman Ethan Johnson from Cleveland, Ohio. Division 909. Commanded by Chief Petty Officer William Roberts. Petty Officer First Class Eric Jensen. Petty Officer Second Class Nicholas Jones. And the Recruit Chief Petty Officer Fireman Ethan Grimm from Wichita, Kansas. On behalf of the commanding officer and staff of Recruit Training Command, we congratulate these division commanders and Recruit Chief Petty Officers on a job well done. In a moment, you will see the ceremonial side boys, bosun, and honor guard take their places for arrival honors. This time-honored tradition is our formal greeting to this morning's reviewing officer. When requested by the announcer, please stand for the arrival honors, marching on to the colors, the national anthem, and the invocation. As a reminder, military guests shall remain covered throughout the entire graduation ceremony. And ladies and gentlemen, one final note. As befitting the importance of this occasion, our ceremony is conducted in a formal manner. However, we do encourage you to participate in today's graduation ceremony by letting your applause show your sailors just how proud of them you are. Once again, welcome aboard.
Divisions, attention!
Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party? Recruit Training Command arriving. Order.
Arms!
The guests may be seated.
Good morning, Captain. Honor guard standing by for inspection, sir. Inspection on!
Will the guests please rise? Present arms.
Retire the colors!
Present arms. Order arms. Chaplain Kwan will offer this morning's invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given to us and for this occasion that brings us together to celebrate the graduation of our newest and finest Navy sailors. Thank you for your blessing of strength, protection, and health that has allowed these young sailors to complete their training here at Recruit Training Command. Thank you for the RDC's instructors, staff, and all the great leaders that have worked hard to instill honor, courage, and commitment in each sailor today. Thank you for the parents and family members that have faithfully supported and sacrificed much so their loved ones could serve our great nation. So as these young sailors go forth to defend freedom and democracy around the world and become forged by the sea, Father, we ask you that you continue to protect them with your mighty hand and guide them in your love and peace. May God bless you. May God bless America, and may God bless the United States Navy. Amen.
Eternal
Our guests may be seated. At this point, the commanding officer would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Then the unit commanders would face about and relay the information to their divisions. Today's events show how orders are passed through the chain of command.
Division! Report! Barrel! 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 Division 249, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 249, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 249, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 251, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 251, Barrel! Division 253, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 254, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 255, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 216, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! Division 929, Officer Academy, sir! Barrel! All division president accounted for, sir! Barrel! The Sailors' Creed! Good morning, Captain. I present the graduating divisions. Request permission to commence the review. Very well, commence the review. Aye, aye, sir. Roll ready. Ready. Sounds off. reporting, sir.
Very well. Good morning. I'm Captain Eric Thors, Commanding Officer of Recruit Training Command. And before we go any further, let's just talk about today. The report I got was that you all listened very well. You did what you were told, and I appreciate that cooperation. We have a real-world threat that we had to handle, and we continue to handle. But this is what we do. We adapt, we overcome, we handle the situation, and the mission continues. So thank you for being part of that mission today and listening to direction. There'll be more to follow after the graduation. So I think you may have some time to get a little bit anxious. You want to let some energy out. So we're going to let you do that right now. I'm going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, I want you to yell, scream, stomp, get all of it out of your system. But let these sailors know how much we love them. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, let it go. Ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where our Navy heritage meets the future and where these young men and women enter the profession of arms. Division 909 graduates today. They are the staff unit, providing arrival honor staff, honor guard, recruit review commander, adjutant, and support for the ceremony. Please join me in giving them a hand for their outstanding performances. I would like to welcome all the veterans in our honor audience for their service to our country. Would our veterans please stand? I'm also pleased to welcome the families and friends of these graduates who have come here today to share in this significant milestone with our newest sailors. The men and women of Recruit Training Command are dedicated to providing the United States Navy basically trained, physically fit, and sharply disciplined sailors like those whom you see before you. They and others like them serve as the bedrock of our naval forces. They give our Navy its combat edge, and they enable us to help keep this nation secure. These sailors have successfully completed 8 weeks of demanding recruit training. They have recently demonstrated their knowledge and their courage during battle stations. They have earned the right to wear the uniform recognized throughout the world as a symbol of freedom. This training group is ready to graduate and serve in the world's most powerful Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you 1,073 of the newest and sharpest sailors in the United States Navy.
Recruit Training Command's competitive system among individual recruits and divisions promotes teamwork, attention to detail, and pride in accomplishment. Divisions performing above standards throughout their training are awarded recognition flags in 5 mission areas: academic achievement, military drill, compartment readiness, applications, and physical fitness. These flags are carried as a visible symbol of the division's success. Each flag indicates that your sailors individually and as teams met performance standards in 1 or more mission areas. A division that excels in every phase of training qualifies for the Battle Efficiency Honor Division recognition and is awarded the Battle E Honor Flag for this exemplary achievement. Division 049 has earned this honor today, and we congratulate them on the job exceptionally well done.
All right, rest.
Captain Thors will now present this week's individual awards, and he will be joined on the drill deck by our executive officer, Commander Schmidt.
morning, Captain. Fireman Grimm reporting. Very well.
It is our pleasure to recognize the review commander for today's ceremony, Fireman Ethan Grimm, Division 909 from Wichita, Kansas. Throughout his training, Fireman Grimm has exhibited great pride in naval service and has consistently demonstrated his potential as an effective leader. He has maintained a high standard of personal appearance and displayed excellent military bearing and command voice. Congratulations on your outstanding achievement. Well done, sailor.
Thank you, Commander.
For achieving the highest overall academic score during recruit training, Fireman Michael Calusimo, Division 055 from Winder, Georgia, has earned the Academic Excellence Award, which is sponsored by the Lake Defiance chapter of the Illinois Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. Fireman Calusimo receives a letter of commendation from the commanding officer. Well done, sailor! For having displayed extraordinary qualities, best expressing the American spirit of honor, initiative, and loyalty, Fireman William Pruitt, Division 055 from Prairie Grove, Arkansas, is awarded the Navy League Award, which is sponsored by the Navy League of the United States. Fireman Pruitt is presented with a commemorative plaque and a letter of commendation from the commanding officer. Well done, sailor! Seaman Sylvia Ribeiro, Division 044 from Los Angeles, California, is the winner of the United Service Organization Award for best exemplifying the spirit of intent, the word shipmate. Seaman Ribeiro is given a commemorative plaque from the United Service Organization. Well done, sailor! Seaman Chanel Jones, Division 047 from Fostoria, Michigan, is the recipient of the Military Order of the World Wars Award of Merit. This award is presented for meritorious performance during recruit training. Seaman Jones is presented with a commemorative plaque from the Military Order of the World Wars. Well done, sailor! The Military Officers Association Leadership Award is presented to Fireman Abner Rios, Division 056 from Ontario, California, for demonstrating exceptional tenacity and professionalism. Fireman Rios is awarded a letter of commendation from our commanding officer. Well done, sailor! Fireman Rafael Ribeiro Gonzalez, Division 053 from Los Angeles, California, is the recipient of the United Club of the United States of America Military Excellence Award for best exemplifying the qualities of enthusiasm, devotion to duty, military bearing, and teamwork. This award places him at the pinnacle of today's newest sailors. He is awarded a flag letter of commendation. Fireman Ribeiro Gonzalez, the staff of Recruit Training Command salutes you as the finest of this group of graduates. Well done, sailor!
Thank you, Commander. Division! Attention!
It is appropriate to recognize such outstanding individual accomplishments by these sailors with a round of 3 cheers. The adjutant will lead all graduating divisions in 3 cheers for this morning's award winners.
Hip, hip!
All right, good morning again. You know, I'm Captain Eric Thors. I'm privileged and honored to have the opportunity to address you again this morning. I want to extend a warm welcome to the friends and families of these outstanding sailors. Your presence here today matters. Your ongoing support and their decision to serve matters. And for that, I thank you. I know many of you have traveled far and wide to be here to celebrate this special day with them and as they begin their new life. For that, I am thankful for your presence. Before us today, there are 1,073 sailors who have demonstrated that they are ready to take up the profession of arms. Over the past 8 weeks, or maybe a couple extra weeks, I know I took a few extra weeks to get seasoning in '87, these young men and women have undergone a transformation from civilian to sailor. They have proven themselves to be smartly disciplined, physically fit, and basically trained. Warriors, sailors. I say warriors because they have trained to begin their Navy life with a fighting spirit, never to give up the ship, never let their shipmates down, and be tough in the face of challenge. They are warriors because they've been instilled with these characteristics to be selfless, always placing God, country, family, the Navy, their shipmates above and before themselves. I'm also humbled and proud to lead the men and women of Recruit Training Command. These Recruit Division commanders, instructors, and support staff have dedicated their lives, sacrificed family time and the easy life to give everything they have to build this next generation of warrior sailor. Please join me in commending them for their outstanding performance. To our newest shipmates standing before us, America is free and safe because of the service and sacrifice of those before us who chose the profession of arms. And now you have answered the call to carry the torch of liberty and become the shield of our republic. You are the real deal, the 1% of Americans who choose to serve and become part of something bigger than yourself. You are serving during a time when your nation needs you most. We are surrounded by a complex world with those who do not agree with our way of life and wish to deny our liberties, our prosperity, and disrupt the international order which maintains the peace. We saw that today. We are once again engaged in a great power competition. Our Navy is critical to America's defense in securing our place in the world. Your Navy is positioned forward where it matters, where it is needed. America's Navy is always ready, always present, 24/7, 365, both in peace and war. To be clear, we sail ready to fight and win. Shipmates, you must adopt this aggressive fighting spirit and protect that which you hold so dear. To our families and friends, again, thank you for being an integral part of your sailors' development and success. We cannot and could not have succeeded without your love and support. Our strength comes from family readiness and our steady support throughout our career. You have raised these young men and women with strong foundations, and we have built upon that, strengthening their honor, courage, and commitment. Your efforts have created what you see before you, selfless, dedicated warriors. Sailors make the most of every day. The Navy is a wonderful life, hard, but wonderful. So I'll end with a short sea story of my father. As a young child, I grew up with a father who was disabled at the age of 38. Couldn't remember what he'd just eaten, or the fact that he ate. But his long-term memory was razor sharp. It just so happened that he too was a sailor as a young man. And so growing up, I heard many a sea story, many which I cannot share in this forum. But the one ringing element common to all of them was his love and admiration for his fellow sailors. It was always the people, his buddies, that brought him the greatest joy. This was my motivation to join 32 years ago, and I can tell you, my father was absolutely right. It is the people, your shipmates, that make you the best adventure. Make this the best adventure. And so I say to our newest sailors and all their loved ones, welcome to the Navy family. May God bless you, the United States Navy, and the United States of America.
Captain Thors will now receive the salute of the graduating divisions, and he will be joined on the drill deck by Master Chief Vowles. Please remain seated until your graduates have been placed on liberty. flags, post, section leaders, fall out and retrieve outer garments. All graduating sailors attending A School at Naval Service Training Command will have liberty until 2100 tonight. All graduating sailors attending A School at Naval Service Training Command will have liberty until 2000 tonight. Midway Ceremonial Hall will be closing at the conclusion of today's graduation. Please check the area around you to ensure that you have all your possessions. For those families with strollers, please retrieve them as you exit the drill hall. And as a reminder to all graduating sailors, ensure that you are in proper uniform of the day prior to exiting the drill hall. Thanks again to each and every one of you for joining us on this most memorable of Navy days. And without further delay, now hear this, now hear this. Liberty call, liberty call. Fall out.